Well, I mean, obviously, the team fought as hard as we could. I think, really tried to do everything we could to give ourselves a chance. Obviously, we needed to make a couple more plays. Give Green Bay credit; they made some plays at the end, especially that they needed to win. I think this team, like I've said all year, and I think today was another great example of how hard this team works, how hard they fight. I think we probably played a ton of guys here today, rolled a lot of bodies through, and a lot of guys that haven't even played an NFL game before went out and played as hard as they could to give ourselves a chance. And I'm proud of the toughness of this team. I think it's the foundation of what we're looking for. I think we want to be tough. I think we want to be a team that competes, and I think we're a team that wants to go out and try to work hard every single day. We obviously got a lot of work to do here. We understand that. We'll close out tomorrow with the team. Be able to have our last squad meeting there and kind of address some of the the things as we go forward. But certainly just proud of these guys, proud of that locker room for as hard as they work and they fight. I know to a lot of people there wasn't much on the line, but to us there is every single week. We're going to go out and we're going to compete and we're going to play that game and we're going to do everything we can. We have an opportunity to go compete in the National Football League. I think you should do everything possible to do your best. So. I think the team in that locker room does that really well. We just got to make some more plays to win. I think that's the bottom line.
Matt, speaking of that toughness, Damon Harrison's a guy that regularly fights through injuries. We've seen the different types that he's fought through all through the season.
Yeah.
We just spoke to him in the locker room, and he's said he's very seriously considering retirement, just with the pain he's in and the performance he's been able to give. You know better than probably most what he's fought through this year. Do you help a player navigate through some of those life decisions, or is that something each player has to decide on their own?
Well, I think there's obviously all different ends of the spectrum with how you help guys. Certainly that's why we're here. That's why I'm a coach and try to do everything I can to assist those guys, and not only in the game of football, but in anything outside of football they need help with. For us, my message is always pretty clear to the players. I think, just take a minute. It's an emotional game. We just got done playing a really hard game. We just got done playing a really physical, competitive game, and emotions are high, as they always are after a football game, and everyone's just got to kind of let all that settle. But, in the end, we'll just, get to whatever points we get to with any guys on our team and address them when they come up. But right now is really not the time, for any of that for myself certainly to, get into with those guys.
It doesn't sound like you're surprised by the snacks set. These conversations you've had with them in the last few weeks or whatever.
I would say probably not surprised, just because I've coached, quite a few years and had guys in different stages of their careers and understand, just the emotional part of finishing up a game. So, I mean, for me, it's I'm just trying to stay consistent, and make sure that everybody understands, and we'll talk about it tomorrow about just letting everybody kind of, it's a long season. It's a long grind. Everybody's, working as hard as we worked and trying to do everything we can that all that needs to settle. And then, I think you have different conversations.
At the other end of that spectrum, back coming back and play, he finished, and both of them, they might carry the next season, just to try to bring that.
Yeah, I think Ty too. He ran the ball well today too. So I mean, I think for us, the run game is going to be a big part of what we do. It's going to be a big important part of what we try to get done as an offense. And I'm proud of Carry On for coming back. I think it shows his competitive nature. I think it shows, the type of guy he is, the type of football player he wants to be. And certainly with Bo and Ty and DJ and or JD and even Wes Hills, I think those guys every single day came in and worked hard to try to get better and compete. So. For me, I was happy to see those guys go out and run as hard as they could today. And from that aspect of it, I thought the O-line tried to really do a good job with the blocking too in the run game, and that was good to see.
Snacks didn't have a snack kind of year, but it's not just something you've had a ton of injury in that position as well on the interior there. How has the interior defensive line, the play there, affected the struggles you've had defensively?
We'll obviously take our time, go back through and look at all of it, from that aspect of it. I certainly think that just in general, we've had a bunch of different bodies maybe in the front, in the linebacker core, in just moving guys around and guys in and out. And I think that's always difficult. I think it is hard in those situations to get the continuity that you're looking for, especially in run defense, things like that. But it's part of the game. Injuries happen, and just, again, give those guys credit for fighting through, and obviously Damon, same thing, fighting through, every week to go out and do everything he could to help us. So, I appreciate that a lot.
You had some emergency options this season in place. So you had a linebacker playing fullback. You had Agnew in there, probably more receiver reps than you would have imagined. What kind of depth issues does it speak to here down the stretch that you guys are facing? You're playing guys essentially out of position.
Yeah, I don't know if it speaks to depth issue or maybe the flexibility of some of the players we have. I think when you have 46 active, you got to be ready for certain situations. I think in any position group, if you lose 2 guys, you're in a lot of trouble. I've certainly played before with wide receivers that have played DB for me in big games, and just understanding that injuries are going to be a part of it. But the more you can do and the more value you can add, to the team in different positions or different situations, then, the better the team we're going to be from that standpoint. So certainly I think there was reasons for some of it. We had a lot of guys banged up. We had a lot of injuries from that standpoint, so guys had to step up in different areas and give them credit for doing that. But again, I think that shows, the versatility and the flexibility of understanding that in the NFL, when that stuff happens, somebody's got to step up into a role and go out and try to perform at a high level. And, I thought those guys were trying to do that today.
Didn't seem like he wanted to take his pads off. He was so excited to get out there. Continuing a tradition since 34, local kid playing for the Lions. His work all year, all season, all this training camp. He was really excited to get out there.
Yeah, and I was excited for him to be out there. I think he's a guy that's, since we got him going back in the spring, has really just gotten a lot better, really through the spring and then into training camp. You could really see him kind of improve, and you could see that kind of potential moving forward that he might be able to help us, and give him credit for just grinding every single day to stay consistent with it. He's a great kid. He works really hard. He's the same guy every day in the building, and that consistency is what allows us to kind of build upon, his ability every single day. And, he had a great opportunity today, and certainly he went out and did everything he could to help us. He played special teams, he played defense, and really, honestly, without missing a beat, which is really hard because we had a lot of different packages today, and we were in a situation where we needed him to go out there, and he's another one of those guys that was flexible to be able to play a couple different positions, and he did that. So I was really happy for him, and he's such a great kid, and he's working as hard as he can to try to help this team and be, part of the foundation of this team.
More questions? Started that game when Tavon got hit with the penalty.
Yeah.
It seems like a smart quarterback can kind of weaponize that rule. How do you coach that differently to help those guys avoid a late slide like that?
Yeah. I'm going to take a look at it. Certainly I saw one thing live, but the officials are the ones that see it, and they got to call it, and we got to protect. Player safety is important, and that's the first and foremost with all that. So, but I'll take a look at it, and certainly there's coaching points usually in those situations that you can come up with, through the film and help those guys.
Second straight year you guys have had a successful trick play in the last game of the season. Is there an extra incentive to kind of empty the playbook in a game like this?
Yeah, or against Green Bay. Honestly, just a lot of those plays that we have, we'll work on them through the course of the season. And sometimes they come up in the games that we can call them, and sometimes they don't. And certainly we had one dialed up that we'd been working on for a while, and we're just kind of waiting for the right situation. And obviously, we couldn't really wait past today, so thought we'd take a shot.
Anybody else you have left to throw the ball, though, is that quicker throw it?
Yeah, we got a couple.
You've seen that play going back to training camp.
Yeah. Yep. And just, every week trying to work on it. So, what else?
Last one, guys. Pretty emotional talking about his future and whatnot.
Yeah.
From your perspective, his struggles with his injuries and trying to be the player that he still feels mentally he is, but physically may not be able to. How difficult is that to kind of deal with throughout a season for a player, and it affects your team as a whole too?
Yeah. I think obviously he probably spoke to, his own personal, situation. But I'd say just kind of repeat what I said before. I give him a lot of credit. He came out every single week and tried to do everything he could to help us and battling through all that stuff and show up on Sundays and try to be the anchor in the middle of our defense. So just appreciated his, his efforts to do that every single week and how hard he worked to do that. It's a violent game, especially in the middle, and he's in there every single week trying to slug it out. So appreciated that a lot.
I'm sure somebody asked me just to make sure Marvin, the whole situation. I know some players in the locker room talked about how for you how you get through something like that with your entire team?
Yeah.
And what did it mean to have him here for a minute today?
I'll probably keep all that private. You know, Marvin is a very special person. His family's it's a wonderful family. He and Jasmine are great people, and you know, my heart is just so you know, saddened for them and with them right now. So I was very happy to see him today.